Hi there, and welcome to the Multiply You podcast, where we showcase top experts in their space and reveal all the secrets you need to know to multiply you.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Austin Clark here, host of the Multiply You podcast. Very, very excited to be able to introduce our guest today. I think that everyone will get a tremendous amount of value and a kick out of some of the things that we'll go over and that we'll discuss. This episode, as they all are, is brought to you by Moxie Pest Control. We are growing like crazy. We're having a lot of different opportunities for growth. And part of the key ways we're doing that is all the ways that you're doing that already. Direct mailers, PPC, SEO, reaching out to your current clientele and client base. I think that our guest will share some marketing tips and tricks with us as well, as he's got a very unique perspective from his years and years of experience in doing this very same thing. But more specifically, we've been growing via acquisition. We've been having a lot of success in nearly all of our markets across the United States. And so if anyone's out there that's listening that owns a pest control company, or if you know someone that owns a pest control company that's reputable, 5, 6, 7, 8 or more trucks on the road, and they're looking to see what that next chapter of their life looks like, I love to be able to visit with them. And we've been able to do some deals recently that I think have made both parties extremely happy. And every day we're gaining more and more of a confidence in being able to do that. So have them reach out to me directly, 480-254-9730. It's my cell. They can call or text me. Text is probably easiest. We've got Vance Morris on today. Vance is a fantastic guest that was introduced to me through a mutual friend. He's a retired Walt Disney World resort leader, having spent a decade at the resorts. He runs the only Disney service and direct response marketing business on the entire planet. He coaches companies to create Disney-style service systems and then monetize them through direct response marketing. He is also the longest-reigning marketer of the year at GKIC. And I have to ask you, Vance, in a moment, what that is. This is the part that I got a kick out of. Former birth control factory security guard. We could probably do a whole episode on that. Turned Disney leader, turned bankrupt out of work executive, turned carpet cleaner, which is what Vance shared with me, what he always wanted to do from a very, very young age. Teasing, of course. Turned finally successful, very successful entrepreneur. Vance, thank you so much for being here and welcome to the show. How are you doing?
I appreciate it, Austin. And every time I hear that, I think to myself, good Lord, what have I done to myself?
Oh, my goodness. So glad to have you on. So let's start there then. What is the longest reigning marketer of the year at GKIC? What is GKIC?
Sure. That was a membership founded by the marketer Dan Kennedy, who's written a slew of no BS books, very well known in the direct response marketing world. Back in 2015, I entered the Marketer of the Year contest that they had every year. And out of about 2,000 people, I was chosen as number one, essentially just showcasing all of the marketing that I was doing in my bricks and mortar businesses. As you mentioned, I have a carpet cleaning business, a oriental rug cleaning business, and a mold remediation business. And all of the client attraction and client retention pieces were in there. I think one of the things that put it over the top was, there's a lot of gurus out there that will tell you all about lead generation and conversion and all that stuff. And then there's a lot of gurus out there that'll talk to you about, how to retain clients for a lifetime, et cetera, et cetera. But there aren't a lot of people talking about that middle ground that, okay, now I got a new client. What do I do with them? And that was the piece of the puzzle that was in my presentation that was not in anybody else's. And for 3 years, 2015 to 2019, when the new person was crowned, I was the marketer of the year for 3 straight years. So
fantastic. I know that on this show specifically, it's important to me to have obviously experts, but especially as it relates to marketing. And I want to have as many of those experts on as possible because there are so many different facets and avenues that you can market. Where do you even start? Where's the low-hanging fruit? maybe Vance, if you don't mind, could we maybe jump into either some of your process or just some of your
Yeah.
ideas? I mean, if you're looking to consult a company, whether it's in the home service space, which you have hands-on experience in, or otherwise, where do you even start?
Well, if you've been in business, I mean, the low-hanging fruit is your current customer base. And you mentioned that at the beginning of the show, that maintaining your clients for life is really because you already bought the client. You invested through SEO, through pay-per-click, through direct mail. You've spent money to get a new client. One of the most expensive things you can do in business is the acquisition of a new client. And that's one of the key numbers that business owners really need to know is their client acquisition cost. I can tell you from my carpet cleaning business that it is $63 to get a new client in the front door. I know that it only takes me $14 a year to maintain that relationship. So I would much rather, as far as an ROI is concerned, much rather invest in client retention than always trying to acquire new. And that's where a lot of people are. Oh, I got to get new clients. Oh, I got to get new clients. Got to keep the pipeline full. And they forget about the people that they've already got in their herd or on their list. And that really is the number one place for revenue increases, testing out new products and packages, getting them to have a greater frequency of service. I know in the pest control business, warranties and ongoing service contracts are a lot of the bread and butter of the industry. Same thing with carpet cleaning. If you can imagine, we actually have memberships for our carpet cleaning business where we sign people up at the cleaning and say, look, for X dollars, if you ever have a spill, we'll come out and clean it. It'll be no charge. Or I've got programs where every other cleaning is half off. Anything you can do to maintain that engagement. But I think the number one way to maintain a relationship, and that's what it's all about, is creating emotional connections, creating relationships with your clients or your customers. And I think the number one way to do that is through a print newsletter. Wholly 100% skip email newsletters because everybody's got one and they are easily deleted. Right now, the mailbox is fertile ground because there's not a lot in there, or at least not as much as there used to be in there 15, 20 years ago. So why would you want to go where everybody is in somebody's inbox on their email? And why wouldn't you want to be where your competitors are not, and you're not competing for attention by being inside of a mailbox? So a finely crafted, and it doesn't have to be pretty, but a great newsletter designed right is by far, dollars to donuts, the best way to maintain that relationship.
Okay. No, thank you very much. And, over the years, I've heard different statistics or studies that, as you have and the audience has, about, it costs X amount more dollars to be able to gain a client than it does to be able to retain them. And your experience in the carpet business, specifically in your market, $63 to acquire a new one, $14 to maintain them. We will kind of get into the meat and potatoes of this pretty quickly, Vance, but I know one of the things that you've taken issue with over the last 2 decades is just that decline, if you will, of the client experience. I guess I have a lot of questions about that too. One, why has that happened? Are we lazier? Are we worse marketers now? Do we care less about our clients than we did 20 years ago? Are there easier ways to be able to market to them that are tricks or what have you? And then what do we do about that? How have you done that with some of your, and I do want to talk about your Disney experience too, but why has that decline happened? And then what are we doing about it, I guess is the question.
Well, yeah, I think there is a certain degree of laziness. With the advent of electronic media, whether that be social media, whether that be email marketing, and we think it's free. And I've always been of the mind you get what you pay for. And so if you're getting it for free, you're not going to be getting much return on it. And I think that there is a serious lack of genuineness amongst a lot of businesses. And a lot of businesses want to be like Coca-Cola. They want to be like Walmart. They think that if they put up polar bears drinking Pepsi or Coke, whatever they're doing, or they put their name on a blimp and shove it over top of the stadium, that it's going to sell their product. It's funny. There were studies that when Coca-Cola was doing an ad campaign, and they did the Mean Joe Green, here, kid, have my jersey. And this is going back years now. But that was one of the iconic Coke commercials of all time. There was actually a 3% decline in Coke purchases following that very successful ad. So we don't have bottomless gobs of money to throw at ads that don't, I call it direct response marketing. So you need to get a response. If you send out $1, you need that dollar in advertising. You need that dollar to bring a whole bunch of his little dollar buddies back. So if you send out a postcard, that's your dollar going out. And your return is when people respond to it. So, we've got some dentists here in my area. I mean, one even forgot to put the phone number on there. But if you don't have a mechanism for response and you don't have an offer, it's just what I call pretty picture advertising. The brand building for businesses our size is like a nice ancillary benefit, but it's not, I could put my logo up for, and spend $100,000 a year with my logo, and it won't move the needle on my sales because nobody cares about the logo. They just don't. They do care about me. And going back to the newsletters, see, my clients, as I've gathered them, have an emotional connection, not with my company, because people do business with people. They don't do businesses with other companies and businesses. Like I said, the newsletter's got to be structured properly. And it's not the next, chemical that's going to kill fire ants. It's not going to be the next, wonder succomatic for carpets. Your audience doesn't care about that. Your newsletter almost has to be like Reader's Digest light. And I shamelessly use my children in all of my marketing. And what happened over the course of 15 years, especially clients that have been with me that long, is they saw my kids grow up because I used them. They know that my daughter has done ballet since she was 5 years old. And I've had people come up to me in the grocery store asking, "Hey, how was Emma's ballet recital?" I'm like, "Oh, who the hell are you? And why are you talking to me in the middle of the grocery store?" And then I got to think,
my daughter.
Oh, wait, must be because it's been a long time since I've been in somebody's house to clean a carpet. But they have grown up with my children. So my kids have got all these surrogate aunts, uncles, and cousins out there. And people actually, when we stop sending it to them, either because they haven't cleaned in 2 years or something, I actually get people calling me and say, "I haven't gotten your newsletter in a while." Well, the reply is, "Well, you haven't cleaned in a while." So if you want to keep, we always put them back on if they ask. But the message is, well, you clean. But people,
but they even find value, even if they're not using your business for services. They still have, an emotional connection enough to say, "Hey," and however you have it structured, right? We want some of those tidbits. We want some of those insights on a personal level. We want these 5 tips, or maybe you have a section in there that talks about what's going on this month for free in Maryland.
Right.
What types of events. How about
Oh,
that?
yeah. And, one of the things, the other, we talked about low hanging fruit. One of the key growth factors for all of my businesses has been referrals. Again, referrals are relatively inexpensive. They're not free. If you're doing it right, it's not free. But a referral is one of the best clients you could possibly get. One, you've already been endorsed by a friend or a neighbor, and they're predisposed to, not having to be sold to because they're the one calling you saying, "Hey, Bobby Sue recommended, your company. Can you come and take care of my problem?" So you're not having to go through the whole rigmarole, and they typically spend more. Now, in my businesses, it is an expectation that you refer as a condition of being one of my clients. Now, that's the message that's out there. We say it a lot more eloquently than that, but people get the gist. From first phone call to thank you card, which is pretty much the life cycle of one of our jobs, there are 9 places where we touch the client on referrals. 9. Whether that be an ask over the phone, whether that be the technician's business card, whether it's a certificate in our folder that we give the clients. In the newsletter, we celebrate people that were referred to us, as new clients, and we celebrate the people that did the referring. So it's almost a condition of doing business with us. And so, there's 2 real low-hanging fruit that everybody should jump on.
I love it. No, thank you so much. I'm fascinated at. I think that we've got some things in my business worked out. When you talk about referrals in terms of volume, our lead sources, number 1 is Google. I think that people use Google as a catch-all for Google, Yelp, like most social media. I think they just say Google or the internet, and so that's one. But then it trades off back and forth between referrals and returning customers. Referrals meaning we do business at your place or your neighbor's place, right? And then they refer you and you say, "Great, I trust my neighbor Bob, and so I'm going to reach out because he's had a good experience. He won't lead me wrong." And then returning customers, someone that has done business with us before and then stopped for whatever reason and then is back again. And so that usually trades places on a ranking 2 and ranking 3. But talk about a lot of good data, and that's my business, right? There could be a lot of different data out there for other types of businesses, and so talk about places to maybe put a few extra bucks and to focus on that. And I'm fascinated too, like you said, Vance. I think that the carpet cleaning business and the pest business, as far as it being home service businesses, I would, and I might be ignorant here, but carpet cleaning is a little bit more one-off unless they're subscribing or coming into that subscription. Hey, you get this done once a year, you get this done once a quarter, you get this section done once a month, sort of thing. But it's you have a lot of opportunities, like you said, to be able to touch them or wow them in that process, even if it is a one-off type service or type treatment.
Well, yeah, I think there's a ton of parallels between the 2 industries. Certainly, if you guys are pest control businesses doing, monthly treatments, well, we're probably not in the house monthly unless they've got a really bad dog or sick kids or whatever. Which we have a couple of those. But I want to go back to the referral thing because I don't want to give Google any more money than I have to. I think a lot of people are of that mind. Good gracious, do they need any more money? And is it being wisely spent? So using referrals, I don't do, well, I do onesie twosie referrals where, similar, Betty Sue's happy with the service. And she's talking to her neighbor the next day and she dropped coffee on the carpet. Oh, I got the right carpet cleaner for you. I'm going for those circles of influence, what I call mavens. people that can refer over and over and over again, multiples of new prospects and clients. A great example would be real estate agents. They are a perfect referral source. So we have an entire program, actually have a marketing person, and it is their job to go around my area and secure real estate agents, flooring companies, plumbers, you name it, to become referral sources for us. Hairdressers are a great one. I mean, everybody talks to their hairdresser. But see, the financial planners or accountants, see, they've got, a whole sphere of people that they can influence. And I always try to get, my clients, my consulting clients, I try to tell them, you want to be that guy or that gal that knows somebody. So like with my newsletter, I talk about, I have a referral Rolodex in there. It's not, people don't pay to be in there, but there are companies in there that I've personally used that I vouch for. And even if they're not in print, I do have people that call at least a couple a week that says, we know Vance knows somebody, painter, roofer, whatever. And so staying top of mind with that is paramount. So when I talk referrals, I'm talking gobs and gobs and gobs of referrals, not onesie twosies. Now, the onesie twosies are important, but it's when you get those mavens, those circles of influence to do the referring, then referrals can knock Google off of its number one post, and you've spent a heck of a lot less money.
Oh, I love that. I think a lot of times, so often we're thinking about, or people think about, how do we go and get that single client? And I don't think that that works. You can do that, but I think that there's a better way of thinking. And as you've said, it's these mavens or these large circles of influence. Who is it, Vance, that that knows many of your ideal clients? Not one of them or two of them or three of them, hundreds of them, thousands of them. And you've identified some of those people as hairdressers, real estate agents, and you probably have a whole list of 50 of them. How
management companies are great. Property management companies, because they've got, a lot of properties under management. So they're always looking for carpet cleaners, pest control, painters, etc.
Yeah. How can you get out there and do 500 jobs in a day rather than 5 jobs in a day? And how can you have that exposure?
Yep.
One of the things that's been on my mind then, Vance, and I think that might be on the audience's mind, is you spent a good decade at Disney, ups and downs, and you saw a lot there and did a lot there. How was that? Working for the mouse, as they say, I guess. Yep. But how did your time at Disney influence you? And put a unique twist and touch not only on your home service business, your carpet business, but your consulting business as well.
Sure. Boy, how much more time do we have?
Yeah.
So I spent 10 years there. I was in the resorts division. So I did not work at Epcot or Magic Kingdom or any of those. So it was a different world. I think that was a line in one of their movies. No, it's a whole new world. Anyway, so one of the first things when I got there that I noticed, and I had one management job prior to going to Disney. So I noticed that everything had a system. Everything. You want to change a bus tire, there was a system for it. You wanted to run It's a Small World, there's a system for it. You want to cook a prime rib, there's a system for it, and a documented system. So they don't leave anything to chance. So I was impressed by that. Obviously, you're impressed by just the whole place. The other thing that it took me a while to realize what separated Disney from all of their competitors. And that is now a term that I use in my consulting business, which is Disneyfy. And Disney, in addition to being masters at extracting money from your wallet and leaving you feeling happy,
masters
at it, Disney is also a master at creating experiences out of the mundane things that have to get done day to day. Answering the telephone. Disney has created an experience out of it. All of our businesses have to do it, unless you're e-commerce, but so how do you create an experience out of answering the phone? Disney's got street sweepers. How do they, contribute to the overall guest experience in their roles as janitorial team? And Disney really has figured this out. And I've taken that process and that system. And kind of one of my unofficial taglines is, if I can Disneyfy a carpet cleaning business, I can Disneyfy anybody. Because, on
anything.
On the home service totem pole, electricians and plumbers and pest control. And then you got the water treatment guys, and then carpet cleaners are down here at the bottom somewhere. 2020 did an expose on us back in the 90s. The whole hidden camera, watching the guys, steal the coins from the cushions of the sofa and drinking milk out of the carton and putting it back in the fridge. But Barbara Walters was not kind to us. Or at least kind to the industry. Yeah. It wasn't me in there, but the industry. Let me be clear. It wasn't a 2020 on me. It was carpet cleaning as an industry. But I think that's the key thing now. Before we started recording, we talked about commodities, and every business, I don't care what business you're in, you are in a commodity business. A dentist is a dentist. Carpet cleaner is a carpet cleaner. Grocery store is a grocery store. Pest control is pest control. I'm guessing, like I know in dentistry, there's only 2 or 3 ways to clean teeth. Carpet cleaning, there's only 2 or 3 ways to clean carpet. So how do you separate yourself from everybody else, gain price elasticity? I mean, if you think about the automobile market, what's the difference between a Yugo and a Mercedes other than $100,000? They both got an engine, they both got 4 wheels, they both go forward. Why would you spend $100,000 on a Mercedes versus, $10,000 on a Yugo? For all sorts of reasons, but there is now, yes, there are some quality things. I get that. But not enough to dictate a 10x, increase in price. People buy a Mercedes for the experience. People buy a Mercedes because they have a keeping up with the Joneses thing. They get a Mercedes because I've lost all my hair and I need to look good for the 50-year-old women when I drive through town. You're not going to get people looking at you driving in a Yugo. So it's the experience that is provided that separates you from everyone else. I'll give you a card. This is actually one that'll be perfect for the pest control industry that you can copy directly from me that I use for carpet cleaning. One of the mundane things that we have to do is we have to get into people's homes in order to provide the service. So we have created an experience out of getting into the house. And it's all scripted. It's all documented. So if I get a new employee, all I got to do is look at the documents, read along, watch their trainer, and match the two together. So our process starts actually when we drive up to the house. We park in the street. We don't park in the driveway because, God forbid, I've got an oil leak. Now I got something else I got to clean up. The technician gets out of his van in a crisp, clean new uniform. See, he carries extra uniforms in his van in case he gets dirty on the job beforehand. When he gets out of the van, he's got his tool bag, he's got a rug, a magic rug, and a little gift that he's going to go present to the homeowner. So when he gets on the front porch, he lays down the magic carpet. It's one of those you can get from any uniform supply place. It's amazing how many people don't do this, but and then he will knock on the door. We don't ring the bell because salesmen ring the bell, friends knock. We take 2 steps back, and we did this prior to COVID. Always take 2 steps back because the last thing you want is 6'2", 300-pound Stephen nose to nose with little old Mrs. McGillicuddy through the screen door. So he takes a couple steps back, waits for client to answer the door, says, "Hi, my name's Stephen. I'm here to create your healthy home. May I come in?" So we don't just barge in. When we get in, we hand the client a gift. Or actually, before that, we make a theatrical expression of wiping our feet. So exaggerated motion of wiping our feet on the carpet that we laid down for them. And then we put booties on. So we're telegraphing some serious messages here to the client saying that we are here to respect your home. We're going to treat it like our own. And then, oh, by the way, here's a gift. Now, if you think about it, when you go to a friend's house for dinner, you'll bring a bottle of wine, some hors d'oeuvres, an appetizer, something. Well, we're going to someone's house, so we bring a gift. Now, I got to ask you, when was the last time you had a home service company come to your house, plumber, electrician, whatever, gardener, and give you a gift prior to any service?
I haven't had it. Never
had it. Right. Exactly. No matter how many times I ask that question, unless they're one of my clients, I get the no. So the gift isn't, and I'm not talking about, little refrigerator magnets or, a pen that only works for a day. I'm talking a real gift. So we have a little custom blue box, and inside the box is a bottle of our spot remover, a bag of cookies, and a little note from me saying, "Thank you for allowing us into your home. If you have any questions or problems, here's my personal cell phone number." And we give them the gift. People are blown away by it. And then we can go on and talk about our services, do our inspection, et cetera, et cetera. So we've created this experience about getting into the home. Now, that gift thing that I talked about cost me less than $5. It was like $4.85 for the cookies, the box, everything. When we implemented that gift, we saw a 26% increase in our mid-tier package. If you know anything about carpet cleaners, we got silver, gold, and platinum, or good, better, best, etc. Well, our middle package, which is really our sweet spot when it comes to profitability, saw an increase of 26% or an additional $65,000 a year just by implementing that gift. And we found that that gift did 2 things. One, it separated us from everybody. There's nobody doing that. Funny thing is, my competitors hide in the bushes and watch what my guys do, because I will once in a while, I go and check to make sure, do a little QA on the managers or, the technicians, and I'll watch my guys to make sure they do it. And one time I was doing that, and I'm like, there's that guy in the bushes on the other side of the driveway. And I look in the rearview mirror, and there's the big yellow truck from one of my competitors, not parked, 2 houses down. I'm like, oh my God, he's watching us. He didn't copy it. Nothing. They all know exactly what I'm doing. And they're either too lazy or complain they don't have enough money in order to provide it. The second thing that gift does is and this is how we got that 26%, is it starts a process called reciprocity. I give you something, you feel compelled to give me something in return. And it's as simple as that. I mean, if you look at what I said about Disney from the beginning, they got systems, which are simple systems, and they create experiences out of the mundane. And the only 2 things I've done in my carpet cleaning business that's different from anybody else. But yet the impact is tremendous. My next closest competitors. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, it's just like you said, right? I mean, you're talking less than a $5 investment to create an incredible experience out of something that's mundane, whether it be answering the phone, entering the home. I mean, so simple. Your competitors, you were saying?
Oh, well, my pricing, I am and have been for the last about 10 years, the highest priced carpet cleaner in my area. The next closest, I don't even really call them competitors because it's not really fair. So anyway, but the next closest carpet cleaner to me is 32% below me in pricing. And when you go back to the beginning, am I cleaning carpet any better? I'd like to think so, but I don't know if it's 32%.
But like you said, the act of the service, it's a commodity. Dentists do what they do, carpet cleaners do what they do, pest people, bug guys like me, we do what we do. But it's about the experience of having that done. How can you stand out so that you can charge 30% more, 40% more, 50% more? And I think the key of it too is that clients are thrilled to pay it. They're thrilled to do it, just like clients or patrons of Disneyland or that. They are excited to have that money extracted from their wallet because they go regularly. They come back. They come back. They come back.
There's so many studies out there right now. I'm not a big person on surveys and studies because I think a lot of it's, jerry-rigged and just not accurate. But one particular one that I liked was that when they polled consumers, that 30-ish% of consumers would willingly pay anywhere between 17 and 25% more for the same service or product if it ensured it was a good experience. Not even a great experience, just a good experience. And I think the bar is set so low these days.
It's so low, Vance.
No matter what you do, to just, get a 1% above, it's going to separate you. It's like night and day.
No, it is so low. I've got to have you back on, Vance, for round 2. There's so much that we didn't get to. I really want to talk much more with you in round 2 about employee engagement, which I know you have tons of experience about. I have lots more questions about making the mundane, and I don't know how you coined it, but making the mundane extraordinary or very special or just something that's memorable for people. I think that would be really great. As we round this out, do you have any parting thoughts or parting words of wisdom that you would like to share? And then after that, how do people get a hold of you? We've got your website. Please, everyone, go take a look at it, deliverservicenow.com. But final parting words, and then how do people contact you? Where's the best way for them to reach you?
Yeah, the parting words are, my primary, I don't even like the word tagline, but is, you won't profit unless you implement. Take one thing, just one. Everybody can do one. It's when you look at the list of 100 things, that's when, paralysis sets in and nobody does anything. Pick one thing and implement it. The reason you want to do just one, it's easy. 2, you can measure its effectiveness. So you don't want to implement 2 or 3 things because you don't know which of those 2 or 3 things worked. So like when we implemented the gift box, that's the only thing we changed for like 3 months in our service to our clients so that we could measure its effectiveness. And that's how I know we got to the 26% and $65,000. So when you go to implement or do a change, just one thing. And then as far as contacting me, the best way is through my website, deliverservicenow.com. There's a easy little blueprint in there that you can download. Gives you gobs of information. I have a daily, 4 times a week. I strive for 5, but usually ends up being 4 emails a week where I give solid marketing strategy, experience strategies, so that and that's free. You don't have to pay for that, and just implement that stuff, and you'll be golden.
Head and shoulders above the rest. Vance, thank you so much for your time. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Please tune in every Thursday. We're dropping these every Thursday now. And until then, I hope everyone is able to create a wonderful day and a wonderful week. Until next time, bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the Multiply You podcast. You'll see us again soon when you subscribe for future episodes.